Is hijab really obligatory in Islam? Do women have to cover their faces too? Let's take a closer look at what the Quran, Hadith, and Islamic scholars say. In Surah An-Nur, verse 31, Allah says, "And tell the believing women to lower their gaze and guard their private parts and not to show their adornments except what normally appears, and let them draw their veils over their chests." This verse clearly tells believing women to dress modestly and cover their beauty. The command to draw the veil, khimar, over the chest shows that early Muslim women already covered their hair, and now they were instructed to ensure their chest was also covered properly. In Surah Al-Ahzab verse 59, Allah commands, "O Prophet, tell your wives, your daughters, and the women of the believers to bring down over themselves part of their outer garments. That is more suitable so that they may be recognized and not be harassed. And Allah is ever forgiving and merciful." This verse tells women to wear a jilbab, a loose outer garment, in public for protection, dignity, and recognition as Muslim women. So according to the Quran, women must cover their hair and chest, dress modestly and not show their beauty in public except what normally appears, behave with dignity, and avoid attracting unnecessary attention. But what about the face? Is niqab face covering required? The Quran does not explicitly command face covering. That's why scholars have derived two main views. Hanafi and Maliki schools believe face covering is recommended but not obligatory, unless there's fear of fitna, temptation. The Shafi'i and Hanbali schools say face covering is obligatory, especially if a woman's beauty might cause attraction. Since followers of the Hanafi and Maliki schools make up an estimated 60 to 70% of Sunni Muslims worldwide, many classical scholars from these schools held the view that a woman's face and hands are not considered awra, parts of the body that must be covered in front of non-mahrams, unless there is a risk of fitna, temptation. However, they advise covering the face if there's a likelihood of attracting undue attention. According to a hadith in Sunan Abu Dawud, Asma bint Abu Bakr entered upon the Prophet wearing thin clothes. The Prophet turned away and said, "O Asma, when a girl reaches puberty, it is not proper that anything should be seen of her except this and this," pointing to his face and hands. This hadith is often used as evidence that the face and hands may remain visible. However, some scholars say this hadith is weak, because the chain of narrators is incomplete. So what should a Muslim woman do? Follow what is clearly commanded in the Quran and hadith: modest dressing, covering the hair and chest, and behaving with dignity. Respect the consensus on minimum modesty requirements. When opinions differ, ask people of knowledge, study sincerely, and make a decision based on taqwa, God consciousness.